Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to begin this evening's board meeting. The school board meeting of November 7th, 2018 is now called to order. The time is 6:00 p.m. At this time, we request that all electronic devices be put in the silent mode. Also, we ask that you please refrain from using flash photography. We would like to take this opportunity to remind members of the public of the district's mission, which is to ensure that each student reaches his or her highest personal potential, and the district's vision to be a world-class school system. Prior to the start of this evening's board meeting, we have been enjoying portions of North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts elementary drama production of Willy Wonka Jr. The production company consists of 4th and 5th graders under the direction of Mrs. Kim Smith. The full performance can be enjoyed on January 17th and 18th at 6:30 p.m. in their school's theater. Tickets will go on sale on December 17th, and they are $8 each. At this time, the elementary production company of North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts will perform one more song from Willy Wonka Jr.
Thank you, Board and Dr. Atkins, for having us this evening. We've got exciting things happening at North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts. We hope you'll all come and join us in January. We do have one special thing going on right now. It's kind of been a secret, but we're going to let the cat out of the bag. North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts was approached by Disney Theatrics to be one of their pilot schools. So Moana Jr. is being piloted at the end of this month on the 29th and 30th. And Dr. Millens is the guy he's got the big head and smiling big back there, because great things are happening at NFMAA. So please come and see us. Join us for the shows.
Just a small snippet of the great things that are happening in Lee County Public Schools. At this time, we'll take a brief pause to clear the performance area.
Freezing.
Beautiful. They put a special request.
Dr. Atkins, just freezing.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins, for my last request.
Early pluses and deltas. Freezing.
Perfect.
That's right. The big hefty guys, we like that. Hi, George.
Us big girls, not so much.
Okay, let's reconvene. This evening's student representative from the School Board Student Advisory Committee is Gavin Ward, a 9th grader in the Lee Virtual Program. He is a member of the National Honor Society and participates in STEM at work. Gavin plans to do well in school, complete dual enrollment, and attend the U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis, earning a degree in chemistry or naval architecture and marine engineering. He hopes that through his work as a scientist or engineer, he can make the world a better place and leave a lasting impression on the world. Welcome, Gavin. This evening's agenda includes the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, one acknowledgement, public comments, consent action items, which include 5 items under Executive Services, 4 items under Academic Services, one of which is good cause. Dr. Adkins, please provide an explanation for this one item.
We had a need to get contracts for SLPs to the board as quickly as possible so we can execute those contracts and make sure we have continuity of work.
Thank you. As presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add this one item to the agenda. 2 items under business services, 1 item under human resources, as well as 7 items under operations, and 4 items under other business. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move.
Moved by Dr. Kuckel.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Fisher. Please record your vote. Motion carries 7-0. Mrs. Petricka will deliver the invocation, after which Dr. Kuckel will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we enter this workplace, we bring your presence with us. We speak your peace, your grace, your mercy, and your perfect order in this office. We acknowledge your power over all that will be spoken, thought, decided, and done within these walls. Lord, we thank you for the gifts you have blessed us with. We commit to using them responsibly in your honor. Give us a fresh supply of strength to do our jobs. Anoint our projects, ideas, and energy so that even our smallest accomplishment may bring you glory. Lord, when we are confused, guide us. When we are burned out, infuse us with light. May the work that we do and the way we do it bring faith, joy, and a smile to all that come in contact with us. Amen.
Amen. The cadet presenting the national colors tonight will be introduced by Sergeant First Class Baxter Pittman, Army instructor from Riverdale High School's JROTC program. Sergeant First Class Pittman retired from the Army in 2017 after serving for 22 years. He has been a Lee County JROTC instructor since that time.
Thank you. The national colors for our Pledge of Allegiance tonight are presented by Cadet Captain Lauren Brashear. The Cadet Brashear has been in the JROTC program for 2 years and serves as the Raider Battalion Administrative Officer. Lauren is on 4 varsity sports teams at Riverdale High School. The JROTC program Raider team, cross country, track, and soccer. Lauren excels academically with a 5.02 GPA and is in the Riverdale IB program. Upon graduation, she plans to attend the United States Air Force Academy. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, our student representative, Gavin Ward, will present the Character Education Word and Design for November.
All right. Citizenship and patriotism. The quality of an individual's response to membership in a community and respectful devotion or allegiance to one's country. Quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." John F. Kennedy. The design you see displayed on the screens was created by Elinette Melendez, a 12th grade student at Estero High School.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Mr. Dodick, please address the agenda item of public comment.
School board policy provides the opportunity at this point in the meeting to address the board concerning any matter on this meeting's agenda or any other matter relevant to the operation of the school district. If you completed a card and submitted it to me before the meeting began, you will be called in the order of the cards submitted. If you did not submit a card but still wish to address the board this evening, Ms. Morgan, the board chair, will give you an opportunity in a moment to express that desire. The rules concerning public comment are posted at the back of the room. The board does not respond during public comment time to remarks made by speakers. At the end of the public comment period, the board chair will address the assignment of any concerns or requests made during public comment to the superintendent. Speakers and those attending the meeting are expected to act in a respectful manner. Attacks on individuals or abusive comments are prohibited. Time per speaker this evening is 3 minutes. Madam Chair, I have 6 cards.
Is there anyone on the right side of the auditorium who did not complete a card and wishes to address the board? Please rise and state your name. Thank you, Mr. Callan. Anybody on the left side of the auditorium? We offer the opportunity to those who may be unfamiliar with the public comment process to raise their hands and provide their names. The blue card is a public record identifying those who speak and providing contact information to staff for follow-up. If you did not complete a blue comment card, please proceed to Mrs. Johnson on your left after completing your comments so that we may have a written record. Thank you. Mr. Dodick.
First speaker is Candice Kohouts. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Good evening. My name is Candice Gahowitz, and I'm a band and orchestra, it was close, director from Oak-Hammock Middle School, a magnet school from the arts. And you're going to get to hear from me and my colleague this evening, Ms. Richardson, to talk about our arts integration program throughout the school. I'm trying to be as brief as possible. We've seen a lot of growth, and I wanted to share a success story about the music programs, the arts programs at our school. There's many of them this evening. I've been teaching at Oak-Hammock for 6 years. The school's been open for 10. And in that time, I've seen the music programs grow tremendously. When I first started in the advanced group, we had 12 members in Band 3 and 8 in Orchestra 3. We now have 40 members in Band 3 and 36 in Orchestra 3. The growth has been tremendous. The transformative effect of music is powerful, and I have one brief story to share with you tonight. A student, I think this sums it up. My first day with her in 6th grade, I had to call home. we had a rough day, and it was the first time I ever made a parent phone call on the first day of school. But I think it was the right move, and it opened a conversation. And although it was a difficult year, in her second year, she performed in a small ensemble and received the rating of superior, the highest rating you can receive for a performance as a violin player with a group. Now in her 3rd year, she's my concert master of my orchestra. It's the highest level bestowed upon a student. They have to audition for it. They have to work for it. I've seen this student go from having very little skills in the classroom, behaviorally, organizationally, routine, to taking a sense of pride and ownership in her hard work. And I just want to share that with you all this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Lisa Richardson, and I believe she has a guest that she wants to bring up with her. So you guys have 3 minutes together. You know that, right? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Richardson. I'm the Magnet Lead Teacher at Okamic Middle School.
And I am Natalie Gonzalez, an 8th grader at Okamic Middle School. We are one of 3 middle schools in the East Zone to receive a federal grant to become a magnet school.
Our magnet, being arts, carries very specific requirements across the curriculum. Students must receive a minimum of 1 hour per week of art-integrated instruction in each of their core academic subject area classes.
In plain terms, science, math, social studies, and language arts teachers are required to teach our classes using both art standards as well as subject area standards.
Having taught at Okamic for 8 years, I can tell you that with arts integration, we are seeing a beautiful transformation in our school. We are seeing student engagement soar.
We have one of the largest populations of English language learners and monolingual students.
We are seeing the arts transcend language barriers and give those students another avenue to communicate and learn. The feedback I hear from teachers most often is my students who seem to shut down or not participate are raising their hands, answering questions, and fully participating in lessons. We are finding that through the arts, students who previously struggled with understanding are more comprehending the subject area materials.
The arts allow students to look at things from a very different perspective, which is resulting in reaching a greater number of learning styles.
In addition, our hallways have become vibrantly colored, creative, and incredibly diverse art galleries.
We invite all of you to visit Okamic Middle School to see the fantastic art that lines the hallways and fills our classroom.
Up and down the hall, you hear students proudly stating, "That one is mine." Seeing the transformation of our students, teachers, and overall culture through the arts has driven home one main realization for us.
The arts are essential to education.
We get so caught up in the weight and importance of state testing that we're tempted to cut out the arts and write them off as frivolous because we need to drill down on these kids and get these scores. But I ask you to step into a classroom full of kids being drilled down on computers and only concentrating on assessments. And then I ask you to step into a classroom where those same concepts are being taught through the arts. And tell me which class will do better, which class will be engaged.
Which students will be excited to learn.
Which teachers will be enjoying their jobs.
We have a mantra at my school. It is painted in a mural in our entry hallway.
It's in most of our email signatures.
It's a hashtag on our social media accounts.
But it's much more than any of those things. It is a simple, undeniable truth and is becoming an integral part of our school culture.
Our mantra is, it starts with the arts.
Because we are seeing that when lessons start with the arts, there are no bounds to how far students' creativity and comprehension can go.
When it starts with the arts, obstacles disappear and previously locked doors and minds open.
And we are honored to be in attendance at a meeting that started with the arts.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony Thomas.
Evening, members of the board. Tonight's a special night. We have 3 of our school board members who will be leaving us. And I, as I did with Jeannie, wanted to just come up and say a few nice words about Pam and Steve and Jane. I've known Jane for a long time. I remember when she first got elected on the school board in 2000, and she's been a great advocate for students and parents and taxpayers. And I want to salute you and thank you for your service. Steve and I voted for him. I voted against him. I remember the last time I voted for Donnie. This time I voted to return him back and worked hard to get him back on the school board. And he's my school board member in District 4. We may not always agree, but I think you always know where you stand with Steve, and he always knows where he stands with me. So, Steve, I want to thank you for your service. And my friend Pam, 4 years ago, I supported Pam to get on the school board, and Pam was a great advocate for creating and supporting single-member district referendum. And I begged Pam, and she can testify to that, I said, Pam, please run at large, don't run in District 5. We want to get a minority. We worked hard to get single-member districts so we can have a minority on the board. So I'm very pleased with the election result. I thank Pam for her service for District 5. Now, another thing I want to say, because I believe if you fight for something and you win, you ought to be gracious. And George Fox has been an advocate for the school sales tax for quite a long time. I can remember a couple of years ago, I was there fighting to get the referendum on the ballot to expand the school board. George, we got 55%, but 52% for a tax increase. That ain't bad. So, George, thank you for what you do. We may disagree on that issue, but you guys worked your tail off. Mary Fisher, I have to say, was very dogmatic in believing in the sales tax from day one. She never wavered. Even when, the Republican Party came after her in her reelection campaign, she just planted her flag on this thing, and she's went out and worked hard to get the sales tax. So now that the sales tax has been approved, it was a close election, but in the election you get 1 vote over, you win. Now it's time. Kathleen also was very much in favor of the sales tax as well. So now that this sales tax has been approved, we're going to need to have some accountability. We're going to have people take responsibility, and we're going to be watching. We got a ragtag group of citizens that are going to be watching very closely on how this money is spent. I really believe, I'll say it again, you need to reconstitute the auditor position that they had when Browder was here, because you need to be able to show us where the money is being spent. Thank you.
Thank you. George Fox.
We did it.
You did it, yeah.
Awesome job, really. The board is, a few years ago, when the board was constituted with just the wrong people for this issue. And I really admire everybody on the board who's worked hard at this. And Kathleen, I've been at BUPAC every week, and I could tell last week we wasn't sure whether it was going to happen or not. And last night when we turned the channel on, whoa, it's fantastic. Chris, you're the greatest thing that ever happened to the school district, bar none.
Nice.
Bar none, no doubt. I don't know how many people were out there watching her perform and selling it and going for it, but it was masterful, absolutely masterful. And Mary, Anthony's right. From the very beginning, you've been the one voice who was, let's do this. Even when that infamous 5-0 flip thing happened a couple years ago, which I never understood, but doesn't matter anymore. But Steve, you as well. You definitely came around on it. You did at the end there, you did the right thing for the children. I'm certain of that. That money will be used very wisely. I don't think anybody has to worry about it accounting for it or anything. That's ridiculous. The general public, what the board's real challenge is making the public see this performance, and those teachers that's what it really is. When the public knows what this school district's really doing, Dr. Atkins, you'll get everything. I mean, the public out there, they're political, but the right thing is the right thing, and this was the right thing, and most people know that, even some of the people who voted against it out of politics. Stay with it. I think the best thing to do is self-initiative. That's what got this done. Everybody in their own way with self-initiative, and that's what the mantra of this school district should be for all of its students, self-initiative. That is the most important lesson anybody can ever learn in any situation, school, life, military, whatever your life is all about self-initiative. So please keep that up, and Steve, I wish you luck in whatever you do next, and Pam, you as well. And you too, Jane. All right.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thanks.
Marvin Getz.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Atkins. I come before you this evening to introduce you to some figures and facts that you may not have. For the month of October, I have been keeping track of the number of absences we have had and the number of absences that we have covered as guest teachers, substitute teachers. Total is, for the month of October, from the 1 to the 31, 10,039 absences. Out of that amount, we were unable to fill 1,435. And this shows you that our substitutes have been there when you have asked them to be there on the job. And that's a lot, 10,000 in 1 month. I keep it for every single month. The substitute teachers, guest teachers, did not receive any sort of a pay increase this year, and we understand it. We know how hard money was and how short. But the time comes when we need to consider some sort of increase for substitute teachers. It may not be money. There are other kinds of things that can be made available to a substitute guest teacher. One of the things I like to recommend that we could do without it increasing much of anything financially is differentiation. Differentiation between the types of substitutes we have. Currently, all subs receive the same salary, basically. I would like to see it separate for bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and then a special category for those substitute teachers who have been in our district and retired from this district with 25, 35, 40 years in the district, because they get the same. They get nothing extra for coming back because they care and they're passionate about teaching. So I would like to see that as a possibility. We also have to keep in mind that long-term subs who serve 30 or more long-term for maternity leaves and others, if they miss 1 day while they're substitute teaching, they get no credit for the long term. They fall back to day one like they started. I would like to recommend...
Mr. Getz, your time's up. All right. Lou Navarro?
That's a lot.
Good evening, Superintendent, Board. Lou Navarro, retired teacher and 47-year resident and fearless guardian of our tax dollars. Congratulations on winning the tax increase. I'm nominating myself for the watchdog committee that you will form as stated in the tax proposal. I, along with Mr. Getz, have a college degree. In fact, I have a master's degree, so we could qualify for that. And mine is in ed leadership. We will make sure the new tax revenue is spent properly. Please call us. Substitute teachers, as Mr. Getz just said, that's a lot of absences. 1,435 unfilled positions is a lot of days for students to go without a teacher. Splitting them up doesn't work. I've done that in elementary. If you would raise a sub pay 13% and give your side of Social Security instead of that BenCorp nonsense, which my son took his money out already, you might be able to recruit more people that will stay in the job. Also, I hope you raise the teachers' pay 13% as well as all the employees, administrative support, etc. I will make a prediction. You can build all the schools you want with this tax, but you will not fill them with quality personnel. I saw a crowd of uncertified teachers going to ESOL training last Tuesday. It's sad when the starting teacher in Lee County makes only $40,000 and the school board member now makes $42,873, and we know the state mandates it. Our friends in Sarasota and Manatee County start at $44,000 plus, and their tax increase, one of them is for teaching and supplies and students, not for buildings. I'm a good loser. I brought you some donuts from Krispy Kreme. You'll have to cut them in half, though, because I could only afford 6 because I'm getting ready for the tax increase. Share them after the meeting. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you.
Mr. Kellen?
I've never had a Krispy Kreme, have you?
I wonder if, yeah, but they're only better when they're hot. I wonder if they're hot.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Atkins. It's been a while since I've stood at this podium when I was on the School Improvement Committee under Dr. Browder's administration when you were in Human Resources. And I come here as a 40-year veteran professional educator and also having worked in 2 professional learning communities with a very successful track record. And sir, if I may say so, I made one mistake as a substitute here in the Lee County Schools from November 2009 until I left in December 2011. I should have joined your union. I come from a strong union background. I disagree with you. The substitutes are paid well here.
Sir, address the board.
My position, and why I'm addressing you, Dr. Atkins, is as a superintendent and a public official, and as a taxpayer that helped since '96 create this world-class school system, I don't think that a superintendent should not be reachable, touchable. And I don't think it's unreasonable. I've reached out to you since March to speak to you. And we know the circumstances as to why I left the employment here over a discrepancy with a reference letter. Good, bad, or indifferent, there still are issues here right now tonight based on the same reason I left this employment with a principal in this school district that, in my opinion, is unprofessional, and I can document it and prove it. So I'm asking you, as a professional educator and gentleman, to speak with me after the meeting briefly and arrange a time to speak to me. You know that I do have some issues with this district, and I have no problem saying this, Monroe County over an HR issue with a reference letter, a form. Bottom line is, none of us are perfect. We know that there's procedure. But I can honestly tell you, as a substitute here, I was a better substitute in the Lee County schools than I was a teacher in the Gary Community Schools for the last 5 years I was there, and that's the truth. And I still believe in the tenets of education. And it's
Thank you, Mr.
Sir, your time's up. No. Your time's up.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to Candace Cohouse and Lisa Richardson, and I didn't catch the other name, but thank you for reminding us of the importance of the arts. We all, I think, get it. We are about transforming schools and making the classroom and the schools, receptive to all kinds of students and providing opportunities to all different kinds of students so that they can learn and grow in the school environment. So thank you for your words. We appreciate you. I will say to Mr. Getz, I'm glad we've passed the sales tax, because for some time this board and staff has been consumed with how we were going to manage the increase in enrollment with the limited capital funding that we had. And I think now we can all breathe a sigh of relief and say we know exactly what we're doing on the capital side, and now our attention needs to be on the operating side and salaries, compensation, whatever. We had that conversation this afternoon in our briefing. So we hear you. We understand. Thank you for your comments. And those are my comments. Thank you. Next is consent items to be voted on. The documentation for action items listed under consent is made available to board members 7 days prior to the board meeting. We are expected to review all of the material, and we have an opportunity to speak with the superintendent with any questions we may have regarding the recommendations. Some of these items have also been briefed or workshopped with the board in advance of appearing on the action agenda. Board members, are there any agenda items you wish to pull for discussion under the unfinished business tabled items portion of the agenda?
I have
Ms.
no
Fisher?
pulls this evening.
Mrs. Giovanelli?
No,
thank you. Mr. Toiber?
No, thank you.
None for me.
And none for me. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda's consent action items?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Toiber, seconded by Ms. LaRiviere.
Ms. Giovanelli.
I'm sorry, Ms. Giovanelli. Okay, please record your vote. Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Adkins, please read your recommendation for the pulled item.
There wasn't any.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm thinking of the...
Good calls, but it was included.
That was included. My bad. Okay. Included in the approval of consent items on the agenda are resolutions proclaiming November 2018 as Florida Family Engagement Month, November 11th through 17, 2018 is Veterans Appreciation Week, as well as November 12th through 16, 2018 as American Education Week. And now it is time for board member comments and reports. Ms. Fisher.
Did you have any appointments?
No, not this evening. But thank you for asking.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to comment on an agenda item, the approval of the mental health plan. And I want to recognize Lori Brooks and thank her for her diligent work with our community organizations in setting the stage for providing much-needed services for our students. A lot of work went into that, and it's an excellent plan, so thank you, Lori. At this time, since it was brought up in public speaking, I would like to congratulate our new board members, Betsy, Gwen, and Debbie, and we look forward to working with you. And I want to thank Dr. Kuckel for coming back and for helping to keep things on a team effort and to keep us calm when we needed to. And your service to this district has been commendable. And Pam, you know, there are good things in store for you. You've been amazing and have brought a very special spirituality to this group, and I appreciate that. And Steve, what can I say? You always have the words to put us right, and you've been very encouraging and supportive, and I thank you for your service and feel like I can call you in the future if I need to. And it's been an honor to work with this board these last 2 years. We have had some good accomplishments. Many of you know that for 5 years, I begged and pleaded for comprehensive health policy, and in 2017, we did pass that, and I thank you all for your support and your insight. And the sales tax was truly a team effort. So the board worked hard, yes, but our staff members worked hard, and our business community supported us tremendously. So I want to thank the whole community for that, and I know that this is going to be not the end-all, be-all, but it's going to be a help for us as we move forward and deal with the growth that is really rampant in this area. We have an amazing student advisory committee, and I want to thank Gavin for being here this evening as our representative. I have learned so much from our students in the last 4 years working with the student advisory, and I look forward to more. And so thank you for being here and being a part of our group. And Family Engagement Month, recognition of veterans, that is all very important. And Education Month. Education is the economic driver for this community, and I want to thank everyone who works so hard to support our community in its education efforts. And thank you. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Mrs. Giovanelli?
I just want to welcome the new board members and thank our old board members that are going out and for their service, and it's been a pleasure working with them. And that's all really I have this evening.
Thank you. Mrs. Patrico?
No, thank you.
Mr. Teuber?
I'd like to just thank Mr. Ward for attending tonight. He made the comment to make a difference as an engineer, being biased as being an engineer. Engineers do rule the world, so good luck. I want to thank Mr. Thomas. You know, we haven't always agreed, seen eye to eye on things, but his passion is never wavered on what he feels is right for the district, and I appreciate his calls in the middle of the night and telling me how he feels and giving me opinions. This is my last board meeting. I just want to thank the community for the support. This district has been wonderful, and did leave on a high note with our taxes. I do believe it was the right thing. You know, we do still have a lot of doubters, and we have a lot of work to do. But this was the right thing, and you will see this new board. They're all here today, ready to go to continue. We didn't miss a beat. We're handing the baton over to 3 more capable board members, and we will show you that this was the right thing to do, and we will get this district to be not only one of the best in the state, but the best in the country. So thank you. It's been an honor to serve. So.
Mrs. LaRiviere?
Oh, let's see. I was going to pull something tonight, but I can just deal with this and comment. I am so appreciative of Salus Care and the way that it has been very proactive in reaching out, especially within the East Zone. And the problem that Salus Care is having is the opportunity to have small groups and locations for that. And I hope that one day maybe we will be able to have some proactive pieces so that we can have a spot within our schools that can be a homey setting where we will be able to use our community services such as Salus Care in a very effective way. So I want to thank them for all that they do for our students. I spoke earlier, so I'm not going to go to great detail, but I was thinking about when Ms. Morgan, Ms. Fisher, and Mr. Teuber will remember are doing an individual coaching study with not with John Maxwell, but with John Moran on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And what a powerful piece that was. And John and Trina Moran were had such a special place in our hearts. And they would sit right there at our briefing and board meetings when they were available. They never spoke at a public comment. And all they did during that time was they prayed for the evening and for our schools. And so I don't have the same white silver hair like John, but occasionally you'll find me there.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Kuckel?
Thank you. I've served 14 years on this board, and they all have been good, but the last 2 have been the highlight of my whole education career. We accomplished things not only that other boards weren't able to, but that other community groups weren't able to do either. And one of them is the passage of the sales tax, because we had a need, we explained it well, we reached out to the community, and they came through for our kids. So I am leaving on a very, very, very high note, knowing that this upward trend is not going to end, only to continue and get better and better all the time. So thank you for allowing me to spend this time and be part of this decision-making, part of this team, part of Dr. Atkins' team too. It's been phenomenal, and I really appreciate it. I will still be around and probably making judgments about what you're doing now. But that's all right. I'll keep them to myself. But Dr. Atkins might get a couple calls from me. Anyway, it's good. I've appreciated working with everybody.
Thank you. Gavin, would you like to make a comment?
Just thank you for your time on the board. Your service is greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Most of us said our farewells, thank yous this afternoon, but I thought it was appropriate that those who are leaving us walk away with a memento that will remind them of the fact that they were change agents during their service here. They significant contributions to transforming this district. So I want to thank you all. This is for Pam.
Thank you.
And for Steve. So I hope when your eyes rest on this, you'll remember your service to this board, this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Dodick.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Dr. Atkins.
Okay, just a couple quick things. Mr. Kellen, I trust that we have information given to Ms. Johnson, so we can be in contact that way. I have pluses and deltas right after the meeting, so I'll need to do that. And just wanted to mention, Jim Nathan, who has been a strong supporter of this school district and somebody that we, served on the superintendent's roundtable and other things. He sent a couple emails. One of them, he was talking about, how impressive it was, the courage that this board has displayed for this community. And then the other one was just a simple one right after it happened, where he just said, wow, which I thought that was really apropos in the moment. He was one that, had his doubts and concerns in the beginning because he had, of course, been a part of the trauma center tax initiative that was not successful, and so he knew how difficult it was. And so to get that type of a comment from him, I think says a lot. And then I said my words about this particular board this afternoon, so you know what they are, but it has just been, again, an honor to serve with such an outstanding team. Absolutely. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. The next scheduled meetings of the board will be on November 20th, 2018. At this point, having no other business to come before this body, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Kuckel, seconded by Mrs. LaRiviere. Please record.
Giovanelli.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
The hair color is not the same.
My hearing is not that good, obviously. So anyway, would you please record your vote?
Vote no, and we have to stay.
Motion carries 7-0. Before we stand up, how do people feel about the